not watching everything, it means nothing.
The large print giveth, and the small print taketh away.
You, sir, are a geek.
You guys are talking about Maven from Tough Enough, right? What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Royal Ramble. I'm your host, John Covey Cole, Steve New, and I got a plethora of gentlemen in the studio with me. Guys, how you doing?
Good. Wonderful.
You got to use your microphone, boys.
Wonderful.
Mike Loving's doing wonderful.
Sterling. Nice.
So we'll go ahead and bounce around the desk real quick and let you guys know who we're dealing with. We got Mighty Hojo's in the house. How you doing, Hojo?
Doing well.
Jonathan Darwin, good to see you again, my friend. It's been a while.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be out of the house. Very excited to be here.
It's good to have you, man. Mike Loving,
What's up, guys?
you've been talking smack for a while.
I'll continue to do it.
He got to back it up tonight, John.
He's here. He's ready to take it
Do you understand how
tonight.
tight that ladder is down there that you just stuck?
I might break the ladder to win it.
Well, he tried to bring a freaking ladder in the studio, and I said, Mike, this ain't a ladder match. What are you doing?
There's one of those $25 Lowe's ones, too.
Tommy Thomason, how you doing, brother?
Hey, doing great. How's everybody doing out there?
Well, they don't know. They might be doing all right. Derek Stowers with Pro Wrestling Conquest. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, doing good. Glad to be here.
You got to use your microphone, boys. They can't hear you out there.
Testing.
There we go. We got you now.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Michael Tawney,
What's up, guys?
how you doing?
I'm wonderful. Had a wonderful drive down.
I heard you guys were doing a little Facebook shopping on the road. And, of course, Mr. Chance Prophet. How you doing, brother?
I have a problem.
Okay. You're in the right. You're in the right place. We are here to talk about. We are here to help you
Not one of
through
those
this.
kind of meetings, Chance. You know, it's
Right.
Stop buying stuff on Facebook Marketplace.
we lured you all here under the guise of a Money in the Bank match, but it's really an intervention for Chance's shopping issues. That's fantastic.
Steve, how you been, buddy?
I've been well. Good week going on this week. Got a big announcement this week, pro wrestling related, but doing well. Hey, I missed last week.
I broke it, Steve. I'm trying to fix it here. Tell these people an interesting story. Don't tell them your news. Yeah.
Don't tell them my news, but tell them an interesting story.
Yeah. Maybe. Facebook Market. Let's talk about that.
I'm just going to turn it over to Chance and let him talk for a little while.
Guy that's selling a Mac Pro tower for $350. I tried to give him $150 cash. He wouldn't take it.
I didn't catch it. Brian Reznor finally decided to show up. What's up, buddy?
I'm here. Can you even see me?
I cannot.
I can't see myself anymore, so I'm not
We
sure
hear
what's
you.
going on. Let me see.
Where? Where are you?
Well, that's helpful.
We don't care if you can see you. We want to see you. It's not me.
There he is.
But why aren't you on the show? That's what I want to know. Hey, I'm going to hang up and call me right back, okay? Yeah, I broke it. That's kind of what I do. Hey, who's calling the show? Somebody's calling. I wonder who it is.
Facebook Marketplace. It's a guy. He's coming back at 200 on the tower.
All right, for whatever reason, it's not working.
195.
You
And
sure
of
you
course,
have the right icon hit, John?
Absolutely. But you're not on the virtual camera here. I don't understand why. Oh, well, we can't even see you on the chat here either. Say something. Hello. No, it's not working there either. Son of a gun. Why does this thing always want to give me trouble when I got something going on? I'll tell you what, I'm going to hang up again. Oh, sorry.
Let me hang up on you.
All right, I'm going to try to figure this out, Steve. If you
There
want.
we go.
Yes, it's still not working. I'll call you right back, Brian. I'm going to try to figure out what's going on here, Steve. If you want, go ahead and talk about your news now.
Sure. For those of you who don't know, Jarrett Parsons TV Network is a Roku channel, and they have about 25 channels on there devoted to classic wrestling. Hojo, I'm sure you're familiar with Jarrett Parsons, right? Yeah. And if you're a wrestling fan and you're not familiar with Jarrett Parsons, you need to get familiar with Jarrett Parsons. But I wanted to break the news tonight here that I just inked the deal to be the name sponsor of the Jarrett Parsons TV network. And
nice.
Yeah, so thank you. I believe in what these guys are doing. I have seen their numbers on what they are streaming. I mean, obviously, Jerry Jarrett is a legend in this business. He's been so nice to talk to, so kind, and Rock and Adam Parsons have been nice to deal with so far. And I'm looking really forward to there being a network of classic wrestling shows that I watched growing up and that I loved. ICW, Southwest Championship Wrestling, which is Joe Blanchard's promotion in San Antonio, Portland, some Memphis, and they're adding more and more footage every week. Really?
That's me. Hey, I
he
fixed it,
is.
boys.
There
So
I am.
I'm very proud to announce here with a bunch of my friends and on a great show that my law office is going to sponsor be the name sponsor of the Jarrett Parsons TV network on Roku, and they are going to be doing an Olympus search. Chance you guys may be interested.
What about me, Steve?
Are you going to get back in the ring, John?
Working
Okay.
out.
It looks like it. So
Working out this way.
same here. But they're going to do a Star Search, American Idol type search for a wrestler. Wheeling Island Casino is going to be one of the places that hosts them, and they're going to try to draw wrestlers from like a 4-hour radius of Wheeling and Pittsburgh and bring them in. And I get to help out with that too. So I'm really excited about this new venture. You know, I probably, you know, some people would say that I'm doing too much and this, that, and the other. It's just, it's a passion. I love it.
That's you hit the nail on the head, Steve. That right there.
It's
I don't
passion.
care. This is the way I've always looked at things. If you got a passion for something and you can do it responsibly, have at it, boy.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And wrestling fans are really good to me. You know,
Sure.
I mean, the stuff that I sponsor, like Cornette's podcasts and things like that. I mean, people call my office, and the thing that is going to be best for me as a lawyer is I'm starting to do these class action lawsuits around the country with medications and things like that. The 3M combat earplug lawsuits that are going on, things you see on TV. This is a good way for me to reach a national audience.
Absolutely.
On those particular kinds of things. So anyway, I'm excited about that.
That is
So,
great, Steve. That is really awesome.
Looking forward to it.
I'm excited about it. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but Derek Jones is not here for some reason. He's been hyping this Ramble in the Bank for weeks. I think he got scared, boys. I mean, I don't know. He's not here.
I talked to him earlier, and he said he was coming.
Wow. Is he okay?
I ain't talked to him in a while. I don't know. But you know what they say? The show must go on. The marketplace must continue. Exactly. Card subject to change. But we are going to get to the Ramble in the Bank competition shortly, but we're going to do what we always do here on the show, and that is talk about our pros and cons. And I'm going to cover Brian's face up like that because that's what I like to do. For those of you tuning in for the first time, we appreciate you guys tuning in here on the Royal Ramble. You can find us on all of the major podcasting platforms as well as YouTube. We're not taking phone calls tonight for those of you who like to call in. I apologize. We already got enough people to needs to get their shit in, so I'm not going to let you guys call and try to get your stuff in tonight. But anyway, we'll go ahead and start with the pros and cons. Steve, should we start with our guest or?
I say guests first.
Okay.
Yeah, these
And if you guys
have
don't-
waited patiently, and
If you guys don't have one, that's fine. You're
you
more
don't have
than
to
welcome
take
pass.
one. But and Brian won, not 5 of each.
11.
I know this week I can't help it. this week I've got one pro but I've got like 3 cons, and I'm hoping somebody steals a couple from me, so I'll only have one. But
we
if no one
understand.
steals them, there's nothing I can do.
We were talking in the parking lot that there's as John, one of John's favorite 10-cent words is plethora. There's a plethora of cons to choose from this week, no doubt.
Many. Hojo, we're going to start with you, my friend.
Yeah.
You got a pro in the wrestling world?
Pro in the wrestling? Honestly, the biggest pro, and this is just overreaching, is there's work again. It's a circular business. The cycle's coming back up. New York's having troubles, but everything else is cycling back up, and maybe the business will be booming again here in a couple of years.
That's a good one. I can't argue with that. That's really good. You're right. It's all over the place. Jonathan Darwin, you got a pro from the wrestling world this week, my friend?
Yeah, and it depends upon how people look at it, but I'm excited for the 24/7 championship. I find it actually quite humorous. We were talking about it outside out there. It's going to be interesting to see how creative they get with the 24/7 rule, and maybe some hotels or somebody trying to meet up from a Facebook Marketplace deal, and you find out it's actually a title match. So.
He lures you in with a cheap MacBook and then pins you for the title.
That's probably. I'm just going out on a limb here saying this, but that's probably going to make it to the con section of the show also. But Mike Loving, what is your pro of the week?
My pro actually comes from New Japan last night as El Phantasmo beat Will Ospreay in I call it a very upsetting matchup. And everybody was expecting Will Ospreay to win, and that was the most high anticipated matchup this week.
Wow.
And El Phantasmo beat Will Ospreay.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Tommy Thomason?
All right. Well, I've actually got 2.
No, well, you ain't going to have 2, Mr. Brian Reznor Jr.
That's right.
We do 1.
well, the one quick one was I seen today was AEW saying they're going to broadcast on October 1st. So I did see that. And then my second one, I worked a show a couple weeks ago. They're in PWX land there in Charlotte, and Savannah Evans was the first woman to enter into a War Games.
Seen that. That's pretty cool.
Her team got the win. So I think that was a real good pro for that.
Hey, I can't argue with that at all. Derek Stowers, what do you think? You got a pro from the wrestling world this week, my friend?
Yeah, I think a big pro for me is the upcoming Double or Nothing this weekend. It seems like there's a lot of excitement, a lot of optimism behind this new company. I think it's a great sign that wrestling is, like we've already said, I believe coming up on a boom period. Wrestling's really strong not only on a local level, regional level, a national level, international level. Seems like everything's really starting to fire on all cylinders, and I think AEW is a great representation of that. So I feel like that's a pro.
So what you're saying is, Derek, that it might be time for me to make my comeback.
That's what I'm thinking. Adam
It's
Page
now or
needs an opponent,
never.
I'm hearing. Maybe Covey Cole versus Adam Page at Double or Nothing.
Hey, I'll put the Royal Ramble Championship on the line, boys. I ain't afraid. Michael Tony, did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, you did.
Awesome, man.
Most people don't. It's usually 20 or some kind of weird thing. I'm going to be a little selfish on this one.
Be selfish.
The pro is that this fellow beside me is on a cane now.
That's a pro?
Instead of crutches.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, moving up. All
Yes,
right.
moving up. That means that the training at the Power Slam Academy means that it's going to start picking up a little bit better.
Right.
Chance gets
Nice.
Since you went ahead and mentioned it, I'll go ahead and throw that out there. You guys want to tell these people at home a little bit about the Power Slam Academy?
It's an excellent wrestling school in Nitro, West Virginia. The head trainer is pretty good.
That's what I heard, Joey. I mean, I heard he's kind of hobbling around right now.
He's on a cane now, though.
Oh, he's on a cane. He's on a cane now.
And he walks over and grabs his phone and gets on Facebook Marketplace way too much. But
Is that where you got the cane?
No, actually.
No.
This is a fine purchase at Ollie's.
Oh, I love me some Ollies.
I love Ollie's.
But yeah, if you guys are looking to become a professional wrestler, definitely get a hold of these guys.
PowerSlamAcademy.com.
Where exactly in Nitro are you guys located?
We are located at the old police courthouse in Nitro, and it's 321
21st Street. All right.
Yeah. So we're in the back, and we have classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays with open dojo time. Established wrestlers can come and they can get time to work on their craft as opposed to just doing it on the weekends. We're trying to do something that most other areas have.
You got to get all up on that microphone.
We're trying to do something that most other places have, like Northeast and Southwest, and they we allow for the guys to come in and train.
Chance, we don't talk through our eyes here. We talk through our mouths.
I see what you're saying. But we're giving these guys a chance to come in and work on stuff that they want to do in the shows to get themselves noticed, give them honest critiques. I've had the pleasure of being critiqued by everybody from, well, I'm not going to name drop,
just people
in high places with Mick in their name. So, yeah.
Rhymes with Moley, maybe.
The other Mick.
Oh, rhymes with Jagger?
Mac, yeah. Mac.
Anyway, Chance, while you got the microphone, what is your pro from the wrestling world this week, my friend?
Pro for the wrestling week, I'm going to continue and be selfish and talk about Power Slam Academy.
Sure, go ahead, man.
We were on WOWK 13 News. They plugged us and showed what we were doing with the Power Slam Academy this weekend. It was a really good piece. Nikki Walters came down and talked to the guys and just really shined us up really well.
That went, in case you didn't know, that went statewide.
Yeah.
That was seen as far away as Wheeling, West Virginia. The reason why I know, somebody at your academy had one of my T-shirts on.
Yes,
my law partner is from Moundsville. Her mom called and said, I just saw a new law office T-shirt on a Wheeling station from about an article from Nitro, and it was a Power Slam Wrestling Academy.
It was Corey,
yeah. I can't remember Corey's last name, but
yeah.
Feldman, Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman.
Yes.
He's going to try to take on David Arquette for the celebrity title.
Is the other Corey dead? Both of them
Corey
still
Haim
living.
is
Corey
dead.
Haim is dead. That's right.
Rest in peace, Corey. But yeah, we've got a couple of really good kids that are coming through, and we've got a couple of dads that just love wrestling. And
What are you trying to say, Chance?
I'm a dad, and I love wrestling.
Okay.
I've got 3 kids, and these guys one has 2, another has just 1, but he thinks he thought he was too old to come into the business, but I mean, he just loves pro wrestling, wants to be a pro wrestler, and he wants to give a positive role model to his son. So we're giving him that opportunity.
And you guys are also offering a place for vets to come in and work and work on their craft and
make sure you don't have any rust.
Sure.
Some of these guys, they only work once or twice a month, and they wonder why. And not to be a jerk, but if you don't work,
it's not like riding a bike.
No,
it's not like riding a bike.
You can only be so good with what you put in.
Right.
So if you don't put in anything other than, well, I was trained back in 1993.
I had a match one time.
Something we talked about too, with the setup was what we wanted to give everybody was somewhere.
You got to be like 2 inches from the mic, guys.
What we wanted to do was
help me.
How's
Help
that?
you.
Is that better?
That's beautiful.
Awesome. All right. So what we wanted to do, and that's what me and Chance talked about when we initially started everything up, especially with the dojo time, was with me running East Coast. We knew that there would be a situation where people would be like, okay, there's heat with this, heat with that. You know how it is. Every company's got heat with everybody else. That stuff ends at the door. I may be helping fire this thing up and do this thing, but that stuff stops at the door. What we want is quality work, not just in Nitro, but in the whole state.
Sure,
and we want to give guys a place to do that.
That's great.
You know, and that's the key. That was the whole thing, was like, let's, heat. I don't care who you got heat with. Don't bring it in here. Drama free.
That's what it should be, man.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about.
It's called professional, as Ric Flair used to say. On the marquee, it says professional wrestling.
That's exactly what Chance said. He was like, we're going to put the professional back in professional wrestling in this area.
Absolutely.
And I said, I'm down. Let's
Kudos.
do it.
Kudos to you guys.
There's too many opportunities for everybody to not be their best and get noticed. So, especially with the upswing that everybody's talking about on the pros.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that upset me, like, the first thing that, like, because I was expecting to be upset over some stuff with this, obviously. You're going to in the wrestling business.
Sure.
Right? Was we offered a free day. Right? Come down. Free day.
Real quick, Jason Sloan on Facebook, guys, wants to know, what is the age requirement to train?
We generally do 18 and up. We do have some that are under 18, as long as they're accompanied by a parent. They sign the waiver. Parents come in, check out. They can either come in and stay for like 1 or 2 sessions to make sure that everything's on the up and up, or they can come and watch their kid train. We're in a safe environment, and I don't let any craziness go on that would risk anybody's life more than pro wrestling already does. But we're a safe learning environment, and
teaching good habits and clean environments, respectful, the whole setup.
Family
friendly. Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, we're in the old Nitro Police Department, but we're also in a church.
Yeah.
So that's it's just part of the deal, man. It's just respect.
Right.
Respect the building.
Department,
Respect your training.
Training academy.
We have access to
What
jail
more do you
cells.
need? That's everything you need.
Hey, we
right
have
there,
access
right?
to jail cells if we need to use them. Interrogation room, all of it, man. We're good.
Or
We're good.
priests if
you get-
confession
Yeah.
is needed,
And if we have to
Forgive
have
me, Father.
if we have to have an exorcism, we can throw them in the
Actually-
cell.
That too.
Yeah, there is a prayer room.
Whatever
You're
it
right.
takes.
Yeah. So,
All right, guys, let's keep it moving. Steve New, what was your pro of the week?
My pro for the week was the Usos versus the Revival. That was the best tag team match that I have seen in a long time. You had that besmirching of the Revival for the last few weeks, the shave in the back and the Uzi
Hot.
and that kind of stuff. And I thought, are they really so small and small-minded in the WWE that they're going to punish these guys for asking for a release or
I
not
think they
renewing
screwed
their
up. I think
contracts?
that it started working in the Revival's favor, and they was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, so anyway, but the Revival came out pissed off, ready to wrestle, and I think that's how you have. It was like the Usos came in, underestimating the Revival, and the Revival came in hot, and I think it just made for a really good match. I
can't argue with you.
I just thought it made for a really good match. It was 13 minutes long, and I wrote down this week that it was 13 minutes of great tag team wrestling, and you saw a lot of what truly makes great tag team wrestling. Focusing on one guy, just trying to break him down and things like that. And they kicked out of each other's finishers. I saw the Revival a lot more animated than I normally do. Dawson hit I believe it was Dawson, not the other one. It hit the DDT on the outside. I hadn't seen the Revival do that before. Get up on the ring barrier.
Oh, they're great wrestlers when they let them wrestle.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my pro for the week.
That's a good one. I cannot argue with that. I'm going to go ahead and throw my pro out next, Brian. I'll let you get the ladder there. No, Mike, not an actual ladder.
I was hoping there was
No ladder, Mike.
I was hoping it wasn't mesothelioma either.
No mesothelioma.
I told you all I called dibs on that. That's right. I can't.
Anyway, this may get a little heat from you guys. I don't know. But my pro of the week is just the constant threat of Brock Lesnar. I like the fact that he's lingering, and they're like, we're going to give these Kofi Kingstons and Seth Rollins a chance. Oh, wait, no, we're not. Brock Lesnar's still around the corner. We're going to let Mustafa Ali win the Money in the Bank. Oh, wait, no, we're not. We got Brock Lesnar going to come down. And I just love the idea of having that guy. We've talked about it on the show here many times, Joey, or Chance, I apologize. But correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen. It seems like that they have not built stars in WWE in a long time. And that's why they always have to lean on these old-timers, if you will, to keep the product relevant to the casual fan, because that's who they've built. And, I mean, you got guys coming up that are phenomenal, but for the casual fan, they're not going to put any stock into them because, you got people like Brock Lesnar that is a badass, or Undertaker, or
the
Kurt
knock
Angle.
on Lesnar, and perhaps Money in the Bank works for him. The knock on Lesnar is that he's not an every week guy.
That's true.
So
I don't want him as my champion. I'm not going to go into booking 101 here because obviously Brian Reznor would school me. But I don't want him as my champion. But I like the fact that he is there and the possibility of him still in the championship, so to speak, is there.
Can I comment on that, John?
Sure.
Hey, actually, up to the match, they had Mustafa Ali winning the match, and then when Brock Lesnar came out, that's when they figured out what was happening.
Allegedly, Mike. Allegedly.
And back to Mustafa Ali. He is actually going to be getting the push that he has been getting, but it's going to be a little bit better this time.
Okay, but how far are you going to push it when you got? I ain't going into that right now. Brian, what's your pro of the week?
Oh man, I'm dying to talk. Jesus Christ! I thought we were never going to get to me. Okay, so since I've got a pro that ties in with my con, I'm going to start the cons right after my pro. Okay, so my pro is AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. It was everything that I wanted it to be except for the finish. And so now I'll go into my con. So my pro is Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles, but my con is the finish. That should not have went down as a 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. No, we should not have a finish to that. There shouldn't be a finish whatsoever. Actually, here's what the finish should have been, and this goes into another one of my cons. Brock Lesnar winning the Money in the Bank. That was stupid. And I tell you why. Because everybody knows Brock Lesnar can get a shot at the title anytime he wants one. He doesn't need a briefcase for that. So my finish to Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles would have been Brock Lesnar coming out and wrecking house. He should have came out and destroyed both men, left them laying on the ground. But you know who he should have hit first? AJ Styles. If he would have hit AJ Styles first, then AJ would have got the victory by disqualification. There would have been no winner and no title change, and you would have seen Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar in Saudi Arabia. But AJ still had a victory over the champion, so he could go on to SummerSlam to face Seth Rollins in the match that they should have had. Now, my other con...
Hey, that's like 5 cons, bro.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry. I waited like 30 minutes for this. Now, hang on. Jonathan Darwin, the 24/7 title, you're going to take the Hardcore Championship, take the absolute worst part of it, and make it the only thing. Not to mention with an ugly belt. It's a joke. It's completely the wrong direction. If they wanted to do something with a new title, they should have done a title that can go from brand to brand, defended on television. What do we call that? What do we call a title that's defended on television every single week?
The TV title.
Exactly. And it could have actually had some prestige, and it could have actually been something.
You can't have television titles anymore because, as my friend and I were talking before, so many people watch wrestling now on something other than the television. As you're fond of telling me, Reznor, this is in the 80s.
So we should have a smartphone title?
You can't call it a screen title.
Either way, Raw and SmackDown are television shows. And I'm not even saying do a television title. Do anything other than some stupid run-on joke. Every single week it's going to be a new run-on joke. You got R-Truth, a former NWA world champion, running around in a freaking blonde wig trying to defend. It's hilarious.
Listen, that title is not for you, Brian. It's not for the hardcore fan.
It's not for me.
That's right. It is for the casual fan.
It's for the casual fan that wants to have a little fun.
Let me tell you the reason why I like it, and see if you agree. Right. You see guys that you haven't seen in a while. I'd rather see the Good Brothers or somebody that is getting zero screen time actually out there trying to compete, trying to win the 24/7 title,
and I love
than not be on Raw or SmackDown at all.
I love the whole dynamic of the Good Brothers both having the title.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that little dynamic there. What's going to happen there? You know,
and didn't Titus?
What's going to happen there?
Like 6 seconds.
Yeah. I don't know.
Titus had it for like 6 seconds.
What, Brian?
What's going to happen there? Another joke. Another joke. And you know, the only way they can make this serious is by putting it on someone like Braun Strowman. Or Brock Lesnar, or somebody who can't be beat by anybody.
I think that will happen eventually. I believe in the PG era, you can't have a hardcore title. Because I think they're going to be limited. You can't do the ECW stuff in a publicly traded corporation on
like I said,
on
I don't
PG
care if
television.
it's hardcore title. I mean, I'd have been fine with not even bringing out a new title if we were just going to have a joke title. But my question is there going to be a 24/7 match? Are we going to have a match, or is it just going to be a dumb vignette every week?
Didn't Mick Foley indicate that there would be a 24/7 designated match in the third hour of Raw every week? That's a designated match every week in the third hour of Raw. Speaking of which, Did you guys notice that the lighting dimmed during the third hour of Raw this week, right at about the time that Mick made that announcement? I'm anxious to see whether or not that sticks because it looked like classic wrestling to me. When the lights went down and you couldn't see all the people and their beautiful faces and the signs and everything else, it looked like classic wrestling to me when it looked like Madison Square Garden back on the network. I'm curious. I didn't know if there was some connection or if the Hartford Civic Center just, lost like a light bank or something like that.
Cut calls.
Right. You got to do what you got to do.
Turn it down a little bit.
All right.
Well, I didn't notice that, but you know what I did notice that I'd like to bring up at this point right now, since it's going to be probably another 30 minutes before I get to talk.
At least 25. At least 25.
Did anybody notice that the women's title and the WWE Championship both had Velcro on it at Money in the Bank?
No.
Yes, and actually, if you rewatch the Kofi match, at the end, the title gets stuck around his leg because of the Velcro, and he has to pull it loose because it's Velcroed to his leg. There is Velcro on both.
These guys were dying. We were just texting, messaging back and forth Sunday night. It doesn't bother me. Like I don't have any strong opposition to Velcro. I don't have any strong affinity for buttons. But apparently Derek Jones and Brian Reznor were all manners of upset.
They said, what? They got Velcro on it?
They were all
You gotta be
manners
kidding
of
me.
upset Sunday night.
Making it more accessible,
All right.
Brian. That's for the kids that can't tie their shoe. Let's
I
go ahead and
understand.
bounce around the room again and get some cons. Hojo, you want to start us off there?
I'll pass on that.
Okay. You optimistic kind of guy, huh?
Well, save us some time.
I got you. Jonathan.
Yeah, I'll make mine like a quasi-con. It was like what Steven and I were talking about outside. I've been a cable cutter probably for about at least 10, 11 years now. I don't have TNT. I'm not getting PlayStation View. I'm not going to get any of these other subscription services. How am I supposed to get to see AEW? And this is a big concern that I have. And I may be wrong, and they may have come up with some alternative that I'm not aware of yet. I'm sure Michael Loving had some news article about that. But
Not tonight.
Not tonight. But unless there's like some way for the casual viewer to watch it, because I have just the streaming services, I feel like I'm going to be left out.
If you have a cable provider, you can download the TNT app, and as long as your cable provider is on their list, you can stream all.
But
TNT.
he doesn't have.
I don't have cable TV at all.
He doesn't have a cable provider.
If you have an internet provider, most of them like Comcast has Xfinity, where Comcast owns it. I have my internet provider is Comcast. I'm not plugging them in.
Right.
By the way, but I don't have Comcast.
See, and I don't know if Suddenlink's that way. That could be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, then
you should check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That might be the answer. But
yeah,
we were talking that it's going to be interesting to see these places that AEW has the network deal,
right.
But my personal opinion, I think you agree, is they should also be on some streaming service of some kind for people who have cut the cord to cable.
Right. That's why I was surprised they're not going to be on Fight. But I mean, it is what it is.
I didn't actually think about it, Jonathan, but I just recently cut my ties with DirecTV. I'm kind of in the same realm, trying to save some money and do things a different way. My theory is if it's meant to be, it'll be. If I can't find it, that's their fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mike Loving, what is your con of the week?
My con of the week goes to the A Double or Nothing pay-per-view. I'm going to talk about a match that was canceled as of this
Hold on a
this
second.
week.
You about to steal my con, sucker?
I'm talking about the Pac versus Adam Page match.
That's
and I'll steal
exactly
your
what
title,
you're
too,
doing.
when I face you.
Hold on. Where the hell did Brian go? You going to face me?
I'll face you.
You got to win this Ramble in the Bank first.
That's easy competition.
You hear that, guys? He's talking smack to y'all now. He says it's easy competition. Michael,
But
Tony,
let me-
how's
let
that
me-
make you feel?
Well, I'm actually distracted by the Facebook Marketplace over here. So
Chance hasn't stopped shopping since they left
We're
Kanawha
negotiating
County.
for a MacBook over here. Or is it?
Luxury mattress sets for 50 to 80% off.
How do you fight that?
$40 down.
How do you fight that? All right.
But let me
You understand the distraction.
Stop worrying about the squirrels on Facebook.
let me get back
Michael
to my
Lovey,
comments,
what was
Paul.
you saying about the match that was
The creative
supposedly happening?
decision of him possibly losing to Kenny Omega later, that has me upset because here's the thing: if you're supposed to lose a belt, you lose a belt. I mean, it's a job. I mean, if you're not performing up
There's
to the
a few
duties-
thing I heard about that. I don't know if they're true or not. I heard that there was creative issues. He didn't want to lose like you're talking about. I also heard that there was a work visa issue. I don't know if that's true or not. But
if that's the case, if I may, if that is the truth, and I don't believe it is, if you're AEW, you get out in front of it. And
absolutely.
You say
not a week before the show.
Not a week before the show, and after all this other crap that Michael's describing has already happened. That's face saving.
We talked about this a little bit before we went on air tonight, and it really upsets, I think, Steve just as much as it upsets Michael. It upsets me because AEW is coming out of the gate, and this is a headline that they're going to have going into this show that so-and-so didn't want to play ball, so they had to pre-record the match before this pay-per-view, yada, 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 yada. It's not a good look at all. You cannot have the lunatics running the asylum, so to speak.
Oh, I mean, you knew the guy was like that. I mean, it's obvious that it wasn't the WWE, it was Neville.
Exactly. That's exactly. And somebody said that outside as well. You know, you play with a snake. Don't be surprised when he bites you. All that's going to do for Neville is drive his stock down even further because if you're a guy and you won't do the job.
His name's Pac, Steve.
Whatever. I tell you what. I tell you the job he needs to do, and that's an ear job. He needs to go to a plastic surgeon, get them ears pinned back.
Hey, working on his Lord of the Rings. Joey, Chance. I just got a message. I just got a message. I got a message that said, "How come the wrestler is the only one that don't know how to use the microphone right?"
Now listen, guys. I was on Facebook Marketplace earlier, and I was looking for a new mic, and I'm looking for a wireless lapel.
One of them lapel mics.
It's like that guy with the fake arms playing the game, isn't it?
Yeah, Tommy Thomason, what is your call of the week?
How AEW is trying to look like Nitro.
That's not really an AEW thing. That was a TNT thing.
TNT, yeah, because I know it's like they had the fire behind the sign.
I'm okay with that. I mean, it's kind of saying, hey, remember Wes, we used to do wrestling. We're going to do it again.
Right, but it killed off, though.
I sent Cody Rhodes. I tweeted Cody Rhodes a couple weeks ago and begged him to put some semblance of wrestling at 6:05 on Saturday night. Wouldn't you mark out?
Yeah, that'd be
Joe,
great.
If they put
Definitely.
wrestling at 6:05 on a Saturday night. I wouldn't mark out if they redid Nitro essentially, but if they put wrestling at 6:05 on a Saturday night, I'd
if they
totally
would go back
mark
at
out.
6:05, it would change things a lot.
It could be a taped show for 6:05. It wouldn't even have to be a live show, and I'd love it. I didn't see that though, where they with the fire and the
Derek Stowers, what is your call of the week, my friend? Do you have one? 2 inches from the mouth, baby. 2 inches from the mouth. That's what she said, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Sorry.
No, it's sort of like what you guys. I've always been a belt mark. That 24/7 belt is atrocious. I don't know that you could even intentionally come up with a title that ugly. I guess I'm fine with the premise behind it. That should lead to some fun segments and get some of the undercard guys on TV. But just the actual physical title itself is
That
a
does
major
suck.
con for me.
I'm with you on that 100%. It does.
Has
look
there ever
rough.
been another green belt?
That belt.
I also this is kind of nitpicking, but I was also upset about how Foley had it in the bag. He gets in the ring.
Yeah. No.
And what about the Saudi Arabia Greatest Royal Rumble title? It was green.
Yeah, it was green. But whenever Foley had the title and he got in the ring and the bag kind of got ruffled, and then he's sitting there waiting to announce the title, but half of it's hanging out on his shoulder. I'm like, come on, man. You're supposed to hide
With no
that
side
stuff.
plates. Just
No side
black
plates,
black
yes.
side plate, yeah.
Michael Tawny, what is your con of the week?
I didn't have time to come up with one because I was too busy on Facebook Marketplace.
Marketplace. We're really getting this marketplace over today,
Yeah.
aren't we?
It's it.
I think that's the new spot on the show, Steve.
Tablet inside here. There's a tablet inside
here
spot.
dedicated solely to Facebook Marketplace.
Is that your con too? That Michael Loving is that your con, Chance Prophet? That Michael Loving said that he's going to beat you for this tablet that you can get Marketplace on inside this Ramble in the Bank briefcase.
My con actually would be the fact that I was going to go along with the Pac and Adam Page, but my con would probably be everybody dogging on WWE because like they're not losing money.
No, they're getting so much money from
They're
Fox,
never
so much
losing
money from Saudi Arabia.
The product may be watered down, yeah. It's going to get watered down as long as he wants to, but as long as he needs interchangeable pieces.
Who's this he? Pronouns, pal.
Mr. Vince McMahon.
Mr. McMahon.
Mr. McMahon. Everyone talking negative about it. I mean, with such positive things happening in the world of wrestling, any detraction from it, just I can't stand it. I can't stand anybody talking bad about it because anytime the boys and the men and the women have better places to work and more avenues to work to where they can actually do what they do best on a bigger platform, it's awesome. So that's my con.
This is kind of off topic, but while I got you on the microphone, how do you feel about this new character of Bray Wyatt? I know you're kind of an artiste of your own, but you like
love
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It absolutely sets up the opportunity for so many different ways for him to spin it.
Sure.
And I've seen people like talk about how he could be a heel one week and be a face the next week, but just with the twists, and I hate the mask. I hate the mask.
How do you hate
100%.
the mask?
It's a horrible,
Yowie,
horrible
wowie.
Joker mask. It looks like he took the Beetlejuice the Beetlejuice mask that got stretched out and the hand was pushed up and the nose was this, and he just wrapped it around his face. If you're going to do a Joker-esque mask, it has to be thinner and looks like the nostrils just stretched but not.
Did you hear who designed that mask?
Yeah,
Slipknot.
Seville.
Yeah, the dude from the Slipknot's mask.
Safini. Yeah. It's really awesome that he did that, but
you're not a fan of the mask,
sucks.
Huh? Really?
It sucked. It looked like they ripped Gene Simmons' face off.
I don't know if you've seen American Horror Story, but it kind of reminded me of Twisty from there.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of that.
I think it has potential to have a Sister Abigail appearing finally too.
Yeah. I hope not.
I just like the whole gimmick because the premise of him being rehabilitated and every little twitch he
honestly, this is what should have happened. This is what should have happened.
He whatever he did, and I think him and JoJo are together and having a baby and all that.
They just had it, I think, yesterday.
Well, congratulations, JoJo and Bray. But he looks great, man. He looks to be in great shape.
Yeah,
he looks ready to go.
I'm curious. You said it looks great. I heard recently on the Tony Schiavone podcast with Conrad Thompson that what was the announcer, the backstage guy, Marshall in WCW? Lee Marshall did the voiceover for Tony the Tiger. Is that a shoot?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, that's amazing to me. Sorry, Steve. What's your con of the week?
My con of the week is the women's 6-man tag.
Six-woman tag?
6-woman tag. Yes, I thought it was horrible. It came out of the Moment of Bliss, and you guys know how I feel about Alexa Bliss. I love her. She's a goddess. She's my favorite.
I can't talk about how I feel about her.
So anyway,
that's a sin, brother.
You know, it would have been one thing. Nikki's out there, and I love her, by the way. She's a real pretty girl. She'd make a great Sister Abigail.
Nikki would.
Yeah, she would. But she's hanging out there for no reason. You know, Alexa had just been giving her static. Nikki's hanging around out there. They're drinking coffee.
Alexa's drinking coffee.
Right. Well, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's supposed to be an interview with Becky, and then the Iconics come out. And, you know, then it
Hold on a second, Brian. That's your cue.
Iconic.
There he is.
There you go. Yeah, and then Lacey comes out. Well, I mean, it's fine, but you can clearly tell that Alexa is hurt. You know, Becky's just basically like, the man will take care of all of it, and then, come on, you can just stand there, which she did. She stood on the outside of the ring drinking coffee. She's hurt. I think WWE needs to own it because you had her, coming out of her shoes one week, and then she put Nikki in the Money in the Bank match, and now she stands on the outside and drinks coffee. If you're WWE, I think you got to own whatever is going on.
Are you saying that we should just take her off TV altogether? Or?
Oh no.
Okay,
Oh,
so just
no.
just quit lying to yourself.
Yeah, right. I mean, just quit lying. Well, quit lying to us Alexa Bliss fans, and letting us think that she's either going to get back in the title picture or something like that.
Gotcha.
And I just thought this was a horrible way to do it. Not to mention the fact that I despise jobbing champions for no reason whatsoever. I mean, and I can't remember who got the pin. I should have written that down. Can't remember who got the pin or who took it. But you're trying to you've got women's tag champions, and you've got Lacey, who you're trying to give a push to, and those things. If Becky's going to be this invincible, a lot of those things are inconsistent. I think one of the Iconics took the job, but anyway.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you
point.
on that one for the simple fact I don't like 6-man tags anymore. They used to be very entertaining, back in the day. But I enjoyed this one because the whole dynamic of Alexa Bliss out there drinking her coffee. Is she going to crack that coffee over somebody's head? What's she going to do with that coffee? You know what I mean? I like that aspect of that.
Well, if she'd have hit Becky with it,
yeah,
that would have been fun.
Sure. I was okay with it, but I can understand why you'd be upset with that. I'm not going to go into my con because, like I said, it was Adam Page and the whole Pac situation.
Sorry,
more
John.
so, it's okay. More so AEW than Pac or Page in this situation because you got to have a grasp on what's going on, especially a week out before the show.
Has anybody heard who the booker is going? I mean, is Cody booking AEW or? Because somebody's got to be in control.
Here's a swerve for you. Dust is alive, baby.
I've actually heard it's a mixture of all of them.
Hey, I got a question for you, John.
Okay, what's up?
What do you think about the fact that Double or Nothing is $60?
I think that is a travesty.
In a world full of WWE networks and New Japan networks and all the $10 pay-per-views.
I think the free stuff that you apparently find, my friend.
Oh, yeah. I'll watch Double or Nothing right after it airs for free online.
Now, I'll guarantee you that they will have...
I got a jailbroke bar stick.
I got one of them Cody's on there. You can watch anything you need. I actually do. If you guys need one, let me know.
Word.
But... I think they're going to get the viewers just because there's so many wrestling fans out there. You can actually find them Fire Sticks on Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, my God. You guys, this is the new spot for sure.
I'm a
new spot joke.
Hey, Reznor, I think they're actually doing the first All or Nothing on Facebook Live.
That's not true. It's not all or nothing. What is this, O-Town? This
all or
the buy-in.
Oh, he got you. You got you, Mike.
That's actually not true, Mike Loving. They somebody put out an article that was false. I think the pre-show is going to be on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter,
I think $60 is you know what's funny is I heard Vince Russo talking about this on his podcast, and Vince Russo was like, they should be $20. And I don't know if it should be 20, but that's a way better idea than 60.
I thought your pro would be that Matt Coon is leaving the podcast with Vince Russo, Brian.
But he's doing it in such a bitch-made way that it makes it a con. I hate that guy, man. He is such a bitch. You don't even want me to talk about Matt Coon because I will literally.
Is it all or nothing at all? Hey guys, we're gonna take a quick commercial break.
You missed that joke, bro. You missed the timing on that. You missed the timing on that joke. Matt Coon's a bitch. Go to commercial.
We'll be right back, guys. When we come back, we're going to start this Ramble in the Bank competition. So stick around.
Since 2001, drug companies dumped 1 billion opioid pills in West Virginia, causing over 3,000 overdose deaths and thousands of babies born addicted by no fault of their own. I'm attorney Stephen New. If you're the grandparent or guardian of a child born with neonatal abstinence syndrome, call me. I'll help you seek just compensation.
Call the law offices of Stephen P. New at 1-844-BAD-PILLS before time runs out.
All right, guys, welcome back. Real quick, while we're on the subject, they are going to be airing AEW, Mike, you listening? Double or Nothing at the Hooters in Charleston this weekend. So if you guys aren't watching it anywhere, you can go over there and get you some wings and get your watch on. But yeah, Brian Reznor, I asked you to get some facts about some wrestlers ready for these contestants here on the show. That's why they're here. They're here because they want a shot at the Royal Ramble Championship. And if they win this Ramble in the Bank, that will ensure them a shot against me. I don't know where Derek Jones is at. I would rub it in his face right now. The Royal Ramble champion.
All right, well, I'm going to run through the rules real quick so the listeners can check it out and also the contestants. You're going to have 3 clues. If you can get it with 1 clue, you get 3 points for your answer. If you can get it with 2 clues, you get 2 points for your answer. And if you have to use all 3 clues, then you only get 1 point for your answer. Now, if you decide that you can do it in the first clue and you get it wrong, you get 0. You don't get another shot. You don't get another clue. You get nothing. Got it, guys?
And just so you guys know, whoever wins, you can't see me. You know what I'm saying? You can't see me. And if Chance wins, we're going to try to figure out some way to have a match on Marketplace. I don't know how we can do it, but we'll do it.
$60 on Facebook Marketplace.
But yeah, do you guys have any questions? Contestants, you got any questions about the rules? Everybody's good? All right. Well, I got a list here of some fellers.
You know what happens, Covey Cole?
What happens?
When you mess up the Ramble in the Bank? You know what happens?
What happens?
You just made the list! Sorry, guys.
He should have made the list a long time ago.
Ongoing spots, too.
Now, Brian, we are going to, me and Steve was talking about this before the show. One of the questions that you have, Mr. New is going to interject, and he has
I've
one.
already messaged it to him.
Oh, okay, never mind. As you were, my friend. This is your rodeo, Brian. I'm just riding in it, baby. Go on with it.
All right, so who's going first?
We'll go back from Hojo over to Tommy, and then back to the front with Chance Prophet over to Derek.
All right. Hojo.
Yes, sir.
This man had his first match August 10th, 1977 in Fort Myers, Florida, of all places, for Eddie Graham's promotion, CWF.
Now, hang on. Did you tell them that – I wasn't listening. You may have already told them that if they name the wrestler wrong, their turn is over?
Right. So he's got to either name the wrestler or ask for the second clue.
Gotcha.
We'll go with the second clue.
Second clue. This man is a 13-time world champion.
I know a guy.
Would you like your third clue, or do you have a guess?
Give me the third clue.
This man co-starred in his first movie of many in 1982 as the character Thunder Lips.
Oh, that would be Mr. Terry Bollea.
Hulk Hogan, that is correct, sir.
Yeah.
Yep, Hojo gets 1 point. All right.
He and Triple H have the same number of world championships.
Jonathan Darwin.
Yes, sir.
All right. This man is a co-owner of a D1 sports training and therapy franchise in Tampa, Florida, along with Tim Tebow and Chipper Jones.
Second clue.
Hang on. I know this one. I kind of turned this one in, but still I know this one, guys.
Okay.
Sorry.
Cool, John. All right.
Thanks.
This man is known to be from Canada, but was actually born in New York.
Chris Jericho.
That is correct. Jonathan
Oh.
Darwin with 2 points. Your final clue was going to be he was one half of the Thrill Seekers, Smoky Mountain Wrestling with Lance Storm.
All
Yes,
right,
it was Chris Jericho.
I'm going to have to close the Facebook comments because once again, people's on there wanting to throw out the answers. Guys, there's no honor in that. How you going to throw the answers out? And if you're going to throw them out, at least wait till Mike Loving gets in there, give him a chance to win. Throw them to him.
There's your boy Virgil again.
It's
Right,
Virgil.
Virgil, just don't give an answer. Just sit here and cuss John out for the rest of the night.
Bundles is
Marty
in here giving out
Brooks.
answers, too. What up to get, Bundles?
And
Good to see you,
Marty
buddy.
Brooks, I'm only temporarily handicapped. I got a new ACL and PCL.
He's going to be good to go. He's going to find you.
Jerk.
Anyway, Michael Loving, put the ladder down and answer this question.
Are you ready, Michael Loving?
I am ready, like I'm ready to beat John.
This man was trained by Jose Lothario.
Shawn Michaels.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Mi-
With the
Michael
quickness.
Loving, 3 points.
Actually, I remembered it because he was with him at one of his matches at the Royal Rumble when he first.
Dirty Sid took him out with a camera. Remember that?
I'm gonna take you out with a camera.
You can't even spell camera.
Don't need to spell to hit you with one.
So.
Good job, Mike.
That was a good job.
All right, our next contestant.
Yay.
Tommy Thomason, you ready?
I am ready.
All right. This man has a brother who is also a wrestler named Sam Houston.
That is Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yes, it is.
Bam, another 3 points.
Yeah.
Go ahead and throw out the other 2 facts there, Brian.
The other 2 facts were this man spent more than 7 years in the WWE, but never held a WWE title despite being one of the most popular wrestlers on the roster. And the final was this man was billed from Stone Mountain, Georgia. All right, next contestant.
Chance Prophet. Prophet.
This is Chance Prophet. Okay, this man started as a baseball player in the minor leagues to develop, where he mostly played as an outfielder in the St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, and Chicago White Sox farm systems.
I have the answer. Randy Poffo?
That would be correct.
All right.
I remember him doing an interview once said, I bat left-handed, I bat right-handed, I pitch left-handed, I pitch right-handed. There's nothing I can't do on a baseball field.
A little known fact from my hometown in Logan, Danny Gobby used to play with Macho Man, and he brought us all their minor league cards, and he had Randy Poffo and everything, and we marked out bigger than anything.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
All right, next contestant. This man attended Springfield College, and in college he was an NCAA Division III All-American center on their college football team with the number 54.
Second clue.
This man was trained by Christopher Daniels, Fit Finley, and the Ohio Valley Wrestling Training Team.
Third.
This man lost his WWE television debut against Kurt Angle on SmackDown, answering an open challenge.
Is that Cena?
Yes, it is. John
Yep,
Cena. He gets
John
1 point.
Cena.
All
That
right,
was for
our
you,
next
Gavin Ward.
contestant. This man started his WWE career with a shoulder injury that sidelined him for several months. He still appeared on WWE TV with his own news segment, a weekly vignette featuring him talking about his condition and how close he was to healed.
Randy Orton.
That is correct. 3 points. The other 2 was this man was the 10th Grand Slam winner in WWE history, and this man is the youngest world champion of all time, winning the belt when he was only 24.
All right, guys, that is the first round. I'm not going to we're not going to talk about points until the end of the game. At the end of the game, we'll go to commercial break. I'll tally everything up and determine a winner. But real quick, Derek Stowers, before we go to the next round, you want to tell these guys at home a little bit about your show coming up?
Sure. Yeah, I'm here representing Pro Wrestling Conquest. We've got our next show coming up Friday night, June 21st. We've got Fallah Bah coming in, taking on Jock Sampson for the Remix Pro Championship. We've got Ace Romero coming in, who's going to be competing this weekend at AEW's Double or Nothing. He's going to be in a triple threat match with Zachary Winsome Facade. We've got Kimberly versus Shotzi Blackheart. We're really excited. You guys check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. We appreciate all your support. I think that's it.
If you guys are in Charleston, West Virginia, definitely check these guys out. And if you're not, check them out anyway.
I love Falaba. He's awesome.
All right, Brian, you want to go ahead and get us going on the second round there, brother?
All right, I'll let you know the second round is a little tougher. All right, starting with Hojo. And this man debuted under the name Flash with his tag team partner Justice. They were known as Power Team USA for All California Championship Wrestling, later going to CWA to be called the Freedom Fighters. Who is this man?
I need the second one so I can figure out which one of the two it is.
This man and his partner went to Mid-South to be called the Blade Runners after they split with his partner WWE bound, and this man headed to the NWA.
Okay, it's Sting.
That is correct. The last clue was this man went on to be the NWA World Champion and a 6-time WCW World Champion and the first WCW Battle Bowl Champion. All right, Mr. Darwin.
Yes, sir.
This man started his career in 1985 as the Elephant Boy.
Second clue.
Hold on, before you give that second clue, that's a hell of a gimmick, ain't it? The Elephant Boy?
It was used a few times in various places.
Really?
Yeah.
This man was the nephew of the original Sheik, Ed Farhat.
Third clue.
This man's neck was broken twice, once by Chris Benoit and once by Taz.
Sabu.
That is correct. Mike Loving.
That's a tough one. You wasn't lying, Brian. That is a tough one.
Yeah.
Mike, you ready for this one?
Oh, I was
This
ready
one, this last one, you was quick on. You gonna be quick on this one too?
I'm gonna be quick on all of them.
All right.
This man's real name is Richard Blood. You want the next clue?
Yeah.
This man was NWA World Tag Team Champions 8 times with Jay Youngblood. You want the
Guess
third
who number
clue?
one? Yeah.
This man made his return to pro wrestling after a 15-year retirement to face Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 25.
Textbook. Right. All right, Mike, we didn't answer.
Ric Flair.
All right, don't answer that. Don't answer that. That's wrong. Chance Prophet, tell him who it is.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yep.
That is correct.
Jay Youngblood. I don't know how old you are, but if you're as old as me and Hojo, you'd know that Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood, brother, were hot in the late 70s, early 80s.
Well,
They're
I'm
on
glad
fire
you
with
found them
them.
attractive. Let's go to the next contestant.
Tommy Thomason, you ready?
I'm ready.
Tommy Thomason. This man attended Robbinsdale High School in Robbinsdale, Minnesota, with the likes of Tom Zink, Brady Boone, Nikita Koloff, Kurt Hennig, John Nord, and Barry Darso, all of whom, you know, later became professional wrestlers.
I'm going to take a wild stab at it and say Rick Rude.
Wow, man, he's on fire. 3 points. The second clue was going to be this man was one half of the awesome twosome with Manny Fernandez, and this man is the first one to get a victory over the Ultimate Warrior in the WWE.
And the fourth clue was that Sting broke his frickin' neck. Ain't that
You
right, Brian?
shut your mouth, John.
New Japan
Covey Cole.
broke his neck.
What I'd like to have right now.
All right,
Is Brian to ask the next question.
who's next? Chance Prophet?
Chance Prophet.
All right, Prophet, get ready.
It was one time, guys. Get off my back.
Profane.
It's French.
All right. This man was recruited by 40 colleges for football. He ended up playing offensive line at the University of Colorado, where he was a second-team All-American for the Buffaloes in 1977. When he was drafted as a center by the Los Angeles Rams with the 24th pick of the third round in the 1978 NFL Draft.
I'm going to go with Hacksaw Jim Duggan is probably
Oh,
That's
you
wrong.
just lost all the points.
I did every bit.
All right, so I'm going to throw the rest of these clues out. This man was managed by Harley Race.
That man stole my wings one night at the bar.
This man lost the WCW World title to Ron Simmons, Sting, and Ric Flair.
Big Van.
Baby, it's Vader time. Big Van Vader, you lost all your points. Sorry. Okay, who's
So what
next?
happens when you're too confident?
Yeah.
See what
All
happens.
right. This ready? This man debuted with a mask as Mr. Olympia in National Championship Wrestling.
Go number 2.
This man was a 3-time NWA World Champion and a 6-time NWA World Tag Team Champion.
These questions are so easy, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Do number 3.
This man was the first leader of the Bullet Club. Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah, I'm that. Yeah, dude, I get hit in the head a lot. Yeah, let's be
chair
honest.
shots.
No, just I get physically beaten by my wife. Yeah, it's nothing to do with wrestling at all. I just get hit in the head a lot.
Don't feel bad. I wouldn't know the answer to this one either.
Yeah,
I don't know who started that.
3-time NWA champion, did he say?
Yeah, 6-time tag champion.
and I'm going to feel like an idiot because
Now he's held a lot more titles than that, but those are two titles that he has held that many times.
The AJ?
It sure is AJ. Congratulations, sir. You get 1 point. AJ Styles. Are you ready?
Fargle the bit.
Right.
Okay, you ready? You ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
All
Derek
right.
Stowers, you ready?
Ready.
This man was the second incarnation of Black Tiger in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Eddie Guerrero.
That is correct.
Ooh,
3
look
points.
at him.
Yeah.
The other clues were this man was the 6th Grand Slam champion in the WWE, and this man was WWE Tag Team Champions with Chavo, Tajiri, and Rey Mysterio.
Ooh, Chavo.
All right, so that's the next. That's one full round there too.
That's 2 rounds. Well, we got 1 round left.
That's right.
Oh man. No, you're
All
good.
right.
You just didn't do the points.
Okay, we're going with Hojo now. This man was the first WCW Triple Crown champion.
Second one.
This man was born in Memphis, Tennessee, despite being billed from North Carolina.
Give me the third one.
This man headlined Starrcade 10 in times, baby.
It's Flair.
That's right, it is. Ric Flair.
How many
What
points
did
was
he
that?
say- what did you say about Memphis, Tennessee?
born there. That's where he got adopted out of.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that the third clue?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the third one. He got 1 point.
Brian, I have a situation here. Steve, how should we handle this? I just got a message that said Finn Balor was the first leader of the Bullet Club.
But the guess was still correct.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It didn't
it was
throw
still-
anybody.
still
It didn't
correct,
cost.
yes.
I mean.
Okay. I missed something. Sorry,
Tony, you still got your points, though, right?
That's the only thing that really threw me off was I didn't think he was first, but okay.
I guess that's the difference.
Sorry, I was
AJ
wrong
replaced-
about
AJ
I
that.
guess
replaced
it's
Fergal.
I guess it's technically the difference between a 2 and a 1.
Actually, can I misread
No, I
it.
went straight to third. I went to the third one anyway, so it would have been 1 point either way.
I misread it, and it was supposed to be was a leader of the Bullet Club. Sorry about that, guys. Let's
Oh, no worries. Sorry, as you were.
Be reflected in your pay next week, Reznor.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys
Take
are getting
that one
paid
out
for
of my
this?
big check.
I need to talk to somebody about that.
All right, Mr. Darwin.
Yes, sir.
This man spent 19 months in prison after pleading guilty to armed robberies at Wendy's restaurants.
Booker T.
That is correct. 3 points. The other two were this man was one half of the Ebony Experience in GWF, and this man started his career as G.I. Bro.
Quick follow-up. The reason I knew that, great book, Booker T's biography. Definitely worth a read.
I don't read books, Darwin.
You need to.
If I can't watch it on TV.
Literate?
Yeah, I can't read. I literally can't read books. Not that I don't want to read books. I can't read books. Okay.
Looks like you can't hold that title.
Just got
Poor
really dark in
John.
here.
Poor me. Hey, but you know what? I'm the champion, so I ain't worried about it. You know what I'm saying?
But do you know what it says? Do you know what the belt says? No.
It says Royal Ramble on it. I think.
How'd
All
you
right.
read that? It's a
Next,
miracle.
go on to Mike.
Okay. All right, Mike. This man, before his wrestling career, played football in the NFL for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Is that Brian Pillman?
That is correct. 3
That
points.
was.
The other were this man worked for both companies and won 5 championships in WCW, but 0 in the WWE. And this man was in the middle of a WWE angle with Goldust at the time of his death. All right. Where are we at?
Right here.
All right. Tommy Thomason, this man started wrestling at age 16 and had his first pro match against Larry the Axe Hennig.
Let's go second clue.
This man won the WWE Intercontinental Championship from the Mountie by filling in for Bret Hart, who had a high fever.
Rowdy Roddy Piper.
That is correct. 2 points to you, sir. Chance Prophet. This man made his WWE debut in a skit with the $1 Million Man as a child.
Second clue.
This man holds a Guinness World Record for lifting.
I'm going to go with Mark Henry. It's wrong, but it's not.
It is wrong. The third clue was this man was the longest reigning ECW television champion of all time with 700 days.
What was his lift for the world record?
It's that split lift.
It's the split-legged lift. I think it's like 200 and I don't know. It might be more than that. I don't know how much it is. It's a lot.
Juji Mufu could beat that. I don't know if you guys.
What'd you
know.
call me?
Juji Mufu. Look him up. He does splits and deadlifts all the time.
Don't let that go.
He was on Sheamus's workouts. Sorry.
When did he beat it?
out.
When did he beat it? Because
I don't know if he beat it, but he does like 400. You just look the guy up. Like, he's crazy.
Well, Rob Van Dam was on Edge and Christian's podcast like a month ago and said that he still held the record. So I don't know. I don't know how much he lifts, but he still held the record as of last month. All right, who's next?
Michael Tony.
This man started his career as the fictional nephew of Paul Orndorff under the name Troy Orndorff.
Go number 2.
This man was the promoter of XPW.
Go number 3.
This man was one half of the Dynamic Dudes with Johnny Ace.
Shane Douglas.
That is correct, sir. 1 point for you. I could have also said he's one hell of a guy because Shane Douglas is awesome.
All right, before we go on, Michael, Tony, could you tell these guys a little bit about the show you guys got coming up?
June 8th, down in Nitro, where we do the training for the Power Slam Academy. We're going to have a show with, I believe, I'm the worst person at doing this because I can't remember even matchups. But Connor's defending his heavyweight belt against Dustin Reyes.
If you guys have not seen Matt Connard, you need to check him out.
Oh, dude, I love the kid.
He's amazing.
Matt Connard's awesome.
The running bet right now is if Jugulator will be there, we're going for Guilt this time. So we made him the main character on the flyer. So the goal is to guilt Jugs into being there. So if that's the case and they make it, Jugs and Omega will be defending the IWA East Coast Heavyweight the tag team titles, which are themed after Woody numbers.
Oh, very cool.
If you guys haven't seen those yet, they're a wonderful set of belts we got themed after Woody. They won those at the Woody Memorial Show.
I see you got Mr. Bruce Gray, Mr. DDT on there.
Bruce Gray's got a match, I believe, against Cobain, maybe. Tyler Vox against Chase Winters is going to be awesome. Something.
Who's that white trash-looking guy back there in the back?
Oh, that's Ron Mathis.
Mathis.
Yeah. Mathis is working. Lord, who's Mathis working? I don't even know. Maybe.
I'll tell you what, I've seen some matches with him and Bruce Gray. They're amazing.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, I'll tell you what really I'm excited about is something that we've started doing is we're trying to showcase some young talent that doesn't really get around here very much. Because one of the things that we used to do a lot at East Coast was our local guys weren't local guys. Like you couldn't go to Sam's and watch your guy back.
Not local.
Yeah. You wouldn't have to worry about going to the Kroger's and seeing your guy back in groceries.
Right.
That's except for Pondo, he'd be at my theater tearing tickets. But for the most part, and that's kind of what we're doing now. We're bringing fresh-faced guys out of different areas. The Tyler Vox kid, I love him. If you guys haven't seen Tyler Vox work, he's a great hand. He's one of the kids that came down for an hour and a half drive.
He's from out of Fairmont,
right? He's from Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Like Chillicothe area. And he came down and did we had an open night at the dojo, and he drove an hour and a half to come down, him and a couple of the guys, and it was pretty awesome, man. I mean, East Coast shows are always a handful. They're always a good time. We always have a nice crowd, and it's fun, man. It's a really nice environment, and it's laid back, and I enjoy it, man. I mean, it's good times.
If you guys want to know more, message us or message Michael Tawney after the show.
Go to the Facebook page. You'll actually get match graphics and everything. I mean, shoot, like I said, I get hit in the head a lot. I don't remember half the shit from my own shows.
They got pictures and everything.
Yeah, someone made a bunch of stuff up. I don't know. I mean, we just pulled hats. So El Drunko will be there. Yeah. So.
All right, we got one more question to throw out. Derek Stowers, are you ready?
Ready.
This man is one of the most decorated professional wrestlers of all time, having won 31 championships in WWE alone overall.
Wow.
Edge.
Damn, he's good. Yes, it's Edge. This man also won the tag team title with Chris Benoit while not even being in the arena. And this man wrestled his last match against Alberto Del Rio. It is Edge.
Well, there you go, guys. We have the questions in. I'm going to tally up these numbers. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Come right back with the winner.
I lost.
2 attorneys. 1 location. Gavin Ward and Josh Miller.
Hello, my name's Gavin Ward. I'm an attorney serving Southern West Virginia. If you need help with a real estate transaction or closing, probating an estate, a property dispute, estate planning, or bankruptcy, give us a call. We can help.
Hello, I'm attorney Josh Miller. I serve Southern West Virginia. If you've been injured in a car accident or hurt on the job or charged with a crime, please come see me today. I can help.
For a free consultation, call 681-207-7400.
Dorsey's Hog Tails, located on U.S. Route 60 just off of Route 19 and just past Midland Trail High School. There's always something going on at Dorsey's, and you can bet that whatever it is, it's a good time. Be sure to try some of the best food in southern West Virginia. Then you can sharpen those billiard skills with a relaxing game of pool. Dorsey's also offers some of the best live local music in the region on most weekends. So what are you waiting for? Stop in and see what makes Dorsey's so great. That's Dorsey's Hogtails, located on U.S. Route 60 just off of Route 19 in Hyco.
All right, the winner of the Ramble in the Bank is Mr. Derek Stowers.
There you go.
Got all 3 questions right on the first shot. So, and right behind him was Tommy Thomason. He was only 1 point behind. But congratulations, Mr. Ramble in the Bank. But like I done told you earlier, you can't see me, so I ain't worried about you.
We shall see, my friend.
And Michael, how does that crow taste?
Not as bad as what it could have tasted like.
Pick your ladder up on the way out, bud. Is all I know. All right, Steve. You mentioned during the commercial break you got a. Hold on, I got an idea. Since Derek Jones, once again, I don't know where he's at, but he's infamous for telling me I don't know nothing about wrestling. How about you ask me that question?
Very well.
I'll show Mr. Ramble in the Bank how it's done.
Okay. This man once killed an opponent in the middle of the ring with his finisher, the heart punch.
Jesus Christ, he killed the man?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know this?
No.
Did I stutter?
What's the second clue, Steve?
Okay, second clue is...
Hold on, was he working with the heart punch, or was he trying to kill the guy?
The guy died.
The guy died.
So he just couldn't take a good heart punch?
Right, he
or what?
couldn't take a good heart punch. So, second clue, this was a shoot, and this guy's dentures came out during a scuffle in the ring and got stomped into pieces, and it was turned into an angle for weeks after that.
Yep, I don't know that either. How about number 1?
All right. Now, clue 3. He was a contestant on The Price is Right. Apparently, you're the only guy in the room who doesn't know the answer to this.
But you know what? I'm the champion, Steve, so I don't care what they think.
All right.
Okay?
Brian Kendrick, I know he was a
No.
Ox Baker, man.
Ox Baker.
There you go.
He killed a man punching him in the heart.
He killed a man punching him in the heart.
Killed him twice?
Did you say Brian Kendrick killed a man with the heart punch?
I knew he was on Price is Right.
Wow.
This is the Price is Right thing.
Oh, man.
All right, I'm going to try it again. Brian, you said you got a couple more, too. Throw one at me.
All right. This man was not a Von Erich, but he was trained by Fritz Von Erich.
You know I didn't watch wrestling back in the 80s. Come on now. Give me the second one.
This man was known for his bloody brawls with Abdullah the Butcher.
I should know the answer, but I don't. What's the next?
This man, if you don't guess it after this, then I'm done with you, Covey.
Oh,
this
wait a
man
minute now.
This man was murdered in Puerto Rico by Invader One, a.k.a. Jose Gonzalez.
I'll tell you what. You can't give up on me, Brian. I'm the champ. You don't give up on champs, okay?
Well, we do give up on you for
You
not
don't
knowing Bruiser
deserve
Brody.
that title if you don't know who Bruiser Brody is.
Well, I was about to say it, Steve. I was selling
sure
it.
you
I know
were.
exactly who it was.
Quit watching Gilmore Girls and watch wrestling.
Listen. You can take that ladder, and I'm gonna tell you right now where you can stick it, Mike.
I got two more if you want them.
Give me one
Go
more.
ahead and
Give me
embarrass
one more.
him, Brian.
Go ahead and make me look good here.
All right.
Derek Jones Derek ain't worried about you.
I ain't worried about Derek. He can't even show
Derek
up to the
Stowers won tonight. Derek Jones ain't worried nothing about you.
This man started wrestling at age 7 and was the NCAA Division I champion before ever thinking about coming to the WWE.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Kurt Angle.
Oh, you're right. First, he had 3 points.
See, that's why I'm the champ, boys, right there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's one question.
One question out of 15 ain't bad. Give me one more real quick, and then we'll move on.
This man was in WCW under the name Terror Rising.
That's Paul Levesque.
That's
Triple
right.
H. See, I got a couple right, guys. Come on now. Y'all busting my balls.
Yeah, you go back past 1990. You suck.
I'm done. I probably can't even go back that far, Steve. You probably take me back to about 94. Maybe some 92 because my buddy Reznor smartened me up on some of it.
I think Stowers is going to
I'm pretty sure it's like 97.
You think Stowers is going to beat me?
I think so.
Well, you know, he does get to choose the match, but I ain't worried about
He
it.
nailed it 3 for 3. You was only 2 for 3.
That's all right.
You're just lucky Hojo didn't win. He was going to pick a scuffling hillbilly.
No,
street
I was
fight.
going to have it done with hammers. You know, we was going to have a hammer fight in a 6-foot hole. I figured I could be over top of it. He'd be down in the hole. I just have to.
So you going to play Whack-A-Cole?
Yeah, Whack-A-Cole.
What the hell? That ain't no good.
He better be glad I didn't win, Reznor, because I was going to have that oil match.
Oh, yeah, that oil match with the thongs? Yeah, that would have been rough.
That was just nasty.
I was just
We would have lost every viewer we ever had.
I was just going to
That's
crack him in
exactly
the head
right.
with my
I
cane.
would have withdrawn my sponsorship. I would have encouraged Gavin and Josh to withdraw their, even the pig place that serves the barbecue.
I was gonna
That's
crack
where we was
in
going
the-
to have it at.
I was going to crack you in the head with my cane and then put the title up on Facebook Marketplace.
All right, Tommy Thomason, I know you do a lot of work with WVCW. You guys got some stuff going on next weekend, right?
Right, June 1st, we're going to have a crowning of our new live championship between Chance Riser and Tracer X. Then we have a no disqualification match with Aaron Biggs, and he's going up against J.D. Drake, which is our champion. And also have William Huckabee and Crash Cassidy. That should be some good matches. Even my buddy George South is going to be there. So
Nice.
that's right, Mr. Number One. But yeah, come on out June the 1st. It'd be the Night of Champions at the Bluefield Salvation Army.
You know what excites me more than that? Brian, this was for you, buddy. You always want to bust my balls about my softball team. The night before WVCW Night of Champions, my softball team, the Ramblers, is going up against WVCW's Wrestlers.
Yes.
In an exhibition match.
Yes.
At Fitzpatrick Park.
That's right.
So if you guys ain't doing
Will
nothing,
George South be there for the softball? Because I'll come out if George South is going to be there for the
you
softball.
gonna come out and support me, Steve, but you come out and support George?
I'm even wearing my Ramblers jersey, so I'm ready for it. You know, so Bethany, you better get on it, boss, and start booking.
All you need is to lure George out is a box of Bojangles biscuits, and he's
And
done.
Mountain Dew.
That's all you need.
A little bit of Little Caesars pizza.
And a little bit of
I'm
Little
telling
Caesars.
you, folks can say what they want. I'm telling you, there were a few guys, there were a handful of guys from Charlotte and from Atlanta in the 80s, fantastic enhancement talent. You know, when I think of guys like Mike Jackson and George South and guys like that the greatest superstars in the world put their bodies and the trust in those enhancement guys, you know, Randy and Bill Mulkey. You know, those guys were out there to make the guys look great every week. And there's a reason why when Ric Flair was on television, he wanted to be in a ring with George South, and that's because he was a fantastic.
As soon as this is over, I'm calling George South and telling him that Steve New called him a jobber on our show tonight.
I did not call him a jobber. I said he was
Done.
an enhancement talent, and I think he's fantastic.
That's the AML World Champion you're talking about.
That's right.
Do you guys find it kind of weird that Derek has the Ramble on the Bank briefcase, but yet it's still hanging over Hojo's head on screen?
That is kind of.
It's a ghost.
Oh wow.
Tis magic.
Ooh. One more thing, guys. Lake Stevens Annual Beach Blast is starting on Friday, May 31st, also going through Sunday, June 2nd. Carnival rides on Friday and Saturday. Live music by Under the Gun Corps and Brandon Perkins. They're going to have church in the park Sunday, June 2nd at 2 p.m. if you guys are looking for something.
Hey, John, this is the Royal Ramble, right?
Sure.
Where we ramble.
Sometimes.
Because I think that there's a perfect opportunity to ramble right now. You've got Chance Prophet and Hojo in the same room. Two guys who've wrestled. That they are West Virginia wrestling. They define West Virginia wrestling. and they're here, and they could easily give their opinion on the thing that everyone's giving their opinion on right now, which is the two shoot jobs. And I really want to hear it.
And the two shoot jobs that you're referring to are the Brad Anderson one and the Brian Logan one?
Yes,
All
sir.
right, those, have you guys seen those two shoot jobs?
Give him a microphone, somebody.
Oh, I've got
you
one.
got one? We'll
I've
use it,
I've
Joe.
seen the Brad Anderson one. It's.
Have you seen the Logan one?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Chance, have you seen it?
That's all
Well, before you say what you're going to say about it, I'm going to let you Ramblers know we've talked to Brian Logan here on the show, and this weekend, myself and Brian Reznor, we are going to interview Brian Logan and get to the bottom of what was going on there, try to see what was going on. We're going to get to
the bottom of more than just that. We want to know why you're signing wrestlers to contracts. We want to know what's the deal with the shoot. I want to know a lot of things from Brian Logan, and we're going to hit him with the tough questions.
We're calling it Shooting Straight with the Royal Ramble, so it's going to be a lot of fun, so tune in for that. Anyway, go ahead, Chance. How do you feel about this whole shooting phenomenon going on right now?
First off, it makes the whole business look horrible because shoots are never pretty. They look horrible. It takes away from everything everybody else builds. And then guys like Jason Kincaid have to go in and try to salvage it after Brad.
Yeah.
Jason just got back in town yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
I was trying to bring him onto the show. He said, "You don't want me doing trivia." I was like, "Okay, man. I'll catch you next
that's
time."
about the same way I am. I'm like, I'm going to screw this
Like
up.
I said, you had me excited. You got that first one out of the gate, and Marketplace down after that.
Marketplace just ruined my brain.
So we should have done the intervention.
Yeah,
when we had the chance.
I think we still have time.
You should have broke the envelope out when you had a chance.
Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Actually, I worked is the key word right there. I worked for the RWA company where it happened at.
Oh, really?
Was on the show previous where Brad's son supposedly got injured.
Okay, so you seen the initial incident that supposedly sparked this situation?
Okay, wait. I got a question.
ahead.
Right there. Let me stop you.
Go ahead.
Is Brad's son 13 years old?
I have no clue because there was as much communication or lack of communication about anything going wrong in that match or that segment that I didn't even know about it until the Brad Anderson shoot.
Oh wow! So
Does he look like a 13-year-old? Because that's the word I'm getting is the guy was 13 years old, shouldn't even have been in the ring in the first place, and nobody knew he was 13. I don't know if that's true or not, and I don't know if it comes from a reliable source. So I was curious if maybe you knew if he looked like he was 13.
I didn't even. I may have seen him and thought he was somebody's kid just hanging out in the back. But first off, if my kid is going in untrained and I know about it and I have a lineage and he's allowing his son, because I guarantee he didn't say, "Hey, Dad, I'm going to go do a show." He's like, "Okay, go ahead, kid." I guarantee he said, "Hey, do you think it's okay for me to do this?" I guarantee he questioned his dad.
Did he ride his bike? Who took him?
It's unreal that this situation even happened, because if you allow your son, who's either looks underage, which tells you that he is not even mentally prepared, not physically prepared, and if he's untrained, he's mentally unprepared to handle anything in the ring. So the fault goes back on the dad anyway for allowing it to happen, especially if you have a lineage going back to Gene Anderson. That's stupid. Secondly, any person that goes in and betrays the trust of a guy when you're supposed to be out there entertaining fans, you're stupid and you're a jerk. And in any promoter that allows it to go on, I'm sorry, it's a dumb move. And I've talked to the promoter, because I told him, I was like, I won't be coming back. When I come back, I won't be coming back for your company. I said, because any promoter that'll put that out there and willfully or unknowingly and not putting a stop to it, the first second you can tell something bad is going on, then I won't have any part of it.
Well, that's a great point, because if the fans that were recording it knew it was going to be a shoot, so did he.
Yeah. His posture betrayed everything. Jacob's a good kid, and he's just trying to learn. And everybody's got their opinion now about the hashtag book Jacob Ryan. I don't care what everybody else's opinion about it. The kid needs to be booked so he can learn. Period. And he's a good
That-
hand and
like-
he's a respectful hand.
If you're new as a wrestler, the only way you're going to get better is by wrestling.
Yeah.
The more bookings this kid can get, the better off he is going to be.
The people cut on him and said he made it look bad because he didn't defend himself. He didn't have an opportunity to defend himself because Brad took advantage of him.
Sure.
He took advantage of his trust. He took advantage of the promoter's trust. He took advantage of the fans' trust. He's just an outright dirt dog piece of crap.
And not only that, but you said this guy's green. He's new to the business. He gets this guy shooting on him. He probably had no idea what to do. You know, he didn't think to go in defense mode and try to fight back. He was just like, "What the hell's going on?" Probably.
When you're in a guillotine and you're smothered and
Right.
you don't have an opportunity to even get a hand out to gouge an eye, you're not going to fight back.
Right.
And you're, I would.
And he had him made up. He had him made up.
Yeah.
Oh, White Mike will come out and save the day, though.
White Mike's cool.
White Mike's he's cool.
Super cool. He likes a grape drink. As for the Logan one, I just from watching it, I know why he did it, and I can tell from I've been in the ring with Brian, and I know Brian, and we go back 20 years with Brian, so I know why he did it. It still doesn't make it in this day and age. You can't get away with it. You can't
I
teach
seen
people
you
that
and
way.
Brian whenever you was first coming into the business at the same company, APW.
Yep.
Long time ago.
I'm sorry, Hojo. Oh, you're good. This is one of the rare times that I disagree with Cornette. You know, Cornette views these shoots as just a normal sort of the process of wrestling and bringing along young wrestlers. Things
Maybe
like
30
that.
years ago.
Right. I mean, it's a different time. And,
Yeah.
and Cornette's comments on that. Did you guys happen to listen to Dutch Mantel, though, talk about?
Oh, yeah.
Where Dutch
I
Mantel
did.
talked about getting done that way, you know, getting shot on and things like that. And he got his eye cut down. He went to the back, broke a broom, and apparently just wore the guy out. But, I mean, that was 40 years ago. You know, we're living in a different time now.
That's where it happens, though, in the back.
Yeah, that was another.
It should have been
of
in the back.
Of Cornette's points
you know,
was, and I
I
wanted
think
to
it
ask you guys that. Cornette said Brad should have handled it before he got to the ring with the guy. You know, that it never should have been an in the ring deal. That it should have been handled in the back. And you know, if he did break the kid's a couple of his ribs or whatever went on, like you said, there shouldn't be any 13-year-old back there. And I don't know the age of Brad Anderson's kid is known amongst the public or anything like that. But
From every account from everybody on the show, that because I asked them about it, I was like, why didn't anybody say about it at the say anything about it at the show? Is it because the kid hurt himself?
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
he didn't know
you
what
know,
he was doing.
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, that was it. Brad's kid didn't know what he was doing. He hurt himself. And
Well,
Jacob
here's
even
a-
apologized profusely from what I was told by Jacob.
Right.
So.
Well, here's something that a lot of people aren't thinking about is I think this may happen more than you realize, and people just don't talk about it. I know, and I'm not going to mention any names. Hojo knows what I'm talking about, I would say. But when I was breaking into the wrestling business, trying to pretend to be a wrestler at the point, just so that people would listen to what I had to say and respect me as a human being, I was in the ring with a guy who wasn't very happy with me, and he wasn't happy with me because of something that was actually a misunderstanding. Well, that night, I got the shit kicked out of me. I got my ear bled for 3 days. I got my head stomped on the ground. I was put in real submission moves to the point where I was trying to get tapped out, or I'm not sure exactly what was going on, but I took my ass whipping because the guy who was giving it to me, I highly respected. And then at training, I took an ass whooping from someone else who was mad about the same thing that was completely a misunderstanding. Me and those two people are really good friends now. I love both of them, but they both beat the living shit out of me to teach me a lesson and to beat me out of wanting to be a wrestler. And I mean, look at Hulk Hogan. He got his leg broke in training. You know, that happened a lot, and it wasn't just a long time ago. I know when it happened to me, it was only about 6-7 years ago.
Happened to me when I broke in.
What is it?
It happened to me when I broke in. I had my sternum broke when a guy called a sunset flip, and then he bonsai dropped me on purpose, and then proceeded to work me over. And my trainer was waiting on him in the back.
I still have a tooth that sits back in my head right now from the match that I'm talking about. And that, that doesn't happen in all matches. Sometimes people go out there and they have a good match and no one gets hurt. And sometimes people get their ass kicked because somebody wants to teach them a lesson. I happen to be one of those guys.
I still owe that guy $20 for that too, Brian.
I'm sure you do. At one time though, it was considered like it's just so crazy that right now there's this whole trend of book Jacob. But Jacob is pressing charges against Brad Anderson. The cops are involved, and I'd say 6-7 years ago, he would have been called a steel horse and would have never gotten another job again because he got the cops involved in something that should have been handled, I guess, with wrestlers' court. Am I wrong?
It should have been handled by wrestlers' court, but then again, Brad took it in his own hands. And he did it in front of policemen, which is stupid on his hands again. And then he ran to the cops whenever the boys went after him. That's another thing. He ran to the cops for protection when the boys went after him, and he's a convicted felon.
He was a prior convicted felon.
You know what's really bad? Where did that take place?
In High Point, North Carolina.
Now think about that. In High Point, North Carolina, there is no wrestling commission. Correct?
None whatsoever, just like West Virginia.
And when something like that happens in High Point, North Carolina, there is a discussion being had right now about making a wrestling commission, guaranteed. Because one thing that can't happen in a wrestling commission, if you have a felony, you can't wrestle. Period. And I guarantee you, there is someone out there trying to ruin North Carolina's wrestling by giving them a commission. Because I mean, I don't know who. I don't know who would disagree with me on that. If they would, I will tell you you're wrong. A wrestling commission is nothing but a money racket that totally destroys the business. And I did a show in Virginia. John Covey remembers. The show that we did in Virginia was one of the most difficult things I have ever done in my life because of all the red tape and money bullshit that had to happen just for the show to even go down. And it still had to be a half-ass show because of a wrestling commission. So Brad Anderson just might get a wrestling commission put in North Carolina because of his stupidity. And at that point, everybody's really going to hate him.
Kentucky has one, is my understanding, right? They can't. It is. My understanding is it's next to impossible to do shows like we have with yours and ASW and WVCW and things like that. We could not have the equivalent of that in Kentucky. Do I understand that correctly?
Man, there was so many rules in Virginia that we couldn't go outside the ring and touch each other. No one could go outside the ring and touch each other. And there was, I mean, it was like there
could you go outside the ring and touch yourself?
I think you could do that, but you couldn't even have contact whatsoever.
Hey, that's good enough for me. If they wouldn't I'd go outside the ring and touch myself.
All right, guys, we're going to get off this because if not, we're going to be here for many more hours. We've been here.
We didn't even hear Hojo's response.
That's because you won't shut up long enough for him to talk.
Come on, Hojo.
My response is simple. It should have been handled in the back. I mean, then there would be nothing to be said about any of it.
Yep,
100%. If you got a problem, step up.
If Kid Cash and Easy Money can make money for decades and hate each other, there's no reason Brad Anderson, from the lineage that he came from, should have taken business in front of paying customers.
Exactly.
You guys are still talking about Brad Anderson, though. I really want to know how you feel about the Brian Logan situation. Joey or Chance, I'm sorry. I'll get it right one of these days. Okay. You kind of spoke a little bit of how you feel, but I'm curious, Hojo. You've been in the game a little longer. How do you feel about what Brian Logan did? I know you've known Brian for a long time. That's right. You didn't even see it, did you?
Seen it, yeah.
Well, you'll have to watch Shooting Straight whenever Reznor grills him here this weekend.
I was talking about the difference between West Virginia and Virginia, and I don't know if Hojo would remember, but during Mountain Fest one year, we had to set up the ring, make sure it's in West Virginia. And I wrestled J.C. Dykes, and it's like they had the commission like at the Virginia line watching us, making sure that we didn't cross the Virginia line while we was wrestling.
Wow. Because they wanted that money. I mean, and
Yeah,
that's
they're
all it is.
serious about their
Virginia's
money.
a straight money
Serious.
racket.
Right. I'd have mooned them. Right there from the middle of the ring.
Well, I was in a rooster suit. I could show my tail feathers to
Ric
them.
Flair. If it killed me and everybody in the arena, I'd have pulled a Ric Flair.
Rooster, which year was that one at the Mountain Fest? Was that the year that they ended up throttling the kid on the side of the van?
I think yes, it was.
Okay. So they got their they did get their eyes full.
Yes.
All right, guys, before we get out of here, I want to give you gentlemen some final thoughts, if you will. Hojo, you got any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Nothing much. Just glad to be here.
I appreciate you coming in, man.
I hope this really keeps going good for you. It's really nice.
Appreciate it, brother. Jonathan Darwin, my friend. Final thoughts?
Yeah, had a great time. Very happy to be here. Also, if you don't know, you got the Fire Stick, not even a jailbroken one. Download Facebook Watch. You can watch Royal Ramble on your big screen TV.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Mr. I left my ladder outside because Covey Cole wouldn't let me bring it inside. Michael Loving, got some final thoughts, brother?
It's been an honor being on the show, and hope to get to come back and ramble with you guys and tell you my insights on indie wrestling and all the big promotions and stuff. And good luck to Mr. Stowers because I'm pulling for him as he's.
What do you mean? You're sitting there telling me you want to come back on my show, and you tell me you're going to root for this guy.
He's got a wrestling promotion. You don't.
We got the Royal Ramble.
I'm part of a wrestling promotion. Does that count?
Tommy Thomason, you got any final thoughts?
Yeah, I like to thank everybody, all the competitors here. Hey, it's been a great time. Ramble on. I'm ready for softball tomorrow. So
we got a game tomorrow.
Get ready, player game tomorrow, and get ready for May 31st and June the 1st. So ramble on, everybody.
Chance Prophet, for those of you guys at home that do not know, unfortunately he suffered an injury. Actually, an injury you've been dealing with for a while. You got it took care of. You're healing up. You got a rough time frame right now for when we can see you back in the ring?
It was initially 6 to 9 months. I'm about 3 weeks post-surgery, and they've already unlocked my brace and given me permission to walk.
Nice.
So I'm probably going to be back before the 6 to 9 months.
Well, I know a guy that's got some stuff down the road here if you want to get back a little faster.
Is it the CBD oil?
You get it on Marketplace, actually.
I ordered it on Marketplace.
Well, man, you got any final thoughts before we get out of here?
This was really cool. It's a really good way to honor passing down the knowledge with the trivia and just being able to advertise the good wrestling that's in the area. I mean, these promotions that are represented, I've worked for them all, and I mean, you can't beat it. Indie wrestling's hot now. Indie wrestling's great now. It's been great for a long time. I'm just glad everybody's recognizing it.
I remember watching WCW. That was the first wrestling I watched, and I was like, "This is cool. This is fun," but I was probably 13 or 14 before I went to my first live wrestling show, independent wrestling show, not where I was like up in the nosebleeds because that's all Dad could afford, but actually a live wrestling show, 3 or 4 rows from the back, independent show, APW. It was over for me. I fell in love. I was like, this is where I was supposed to be. This is my people right here. But yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing, brother. We're rooting you on. Really appreciate you coming on today. I'm glad you could take time out of Marketplace to join us.
I'm still on Marketplace.
I was going to say, you haven't really taken time off. That's the thing. That's why you didn't do it.
Michael Tawny, thank you so much for coming down, brother. You got some final thoughts you want to share with these folks?
Thank you guys for having us down. I mean,
Absolutely.
It was a good trip down with Joe. I mean, or Chance here. It was good times. Joe Morton was in the car with me and Chance. Yeah. But June 8th, Nitro, West Virginia, IWA East Coast, IWAEastCoast.com, PowerSlamAcademy.com. I believe so, right? That's where we're at. And then we got, yeah, man, it's good stuff. And if you guys are a worker and you want to come down and get some time in, come down. We want you there. We want you there. We want you guys to come in and enjoy yourselves and get because there's a lot of, if I'm wrong, tell me, Chance, but there's a lot of bitter guys out there right now that could really like to get the love back, and have seen it come back out of a few of the guys that come in down there that just showed up, and they get and it's wonderful, and it's a good little setup, and I like it.
That's good.
So I like
Congratulations on your coverage and everything. I wish you continued growth there.
Oh,
try to get down and see you guys.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully, if we're lucky, we can hit a scratch off and win some money. We'll be good. So
I'm going to leave it at this, but that's partially why we are sitting in the studio right now. But anyway, yeah, we really appreciate you coming down. Derek Stowers, Mr. Ramble in the Bank. First of all, before you give your final thoughts, I done told you once or twice, I ain't scared, I ain't afeard of you. So whenever you're ready to let me know how you want to come at me for this championship, we'll make it happen.
Just do it now.
Yeah, you never
Can't do
know.
it now.
Anytime, any place, right?
It's a 24/7 rule.
Make it happen. Hit him with that at the Conquest show.
He'd have got on top of you tonight. You'd have been over with.
I'd have been done for.
Yeah.
But see, it don't have to be trivia. I mean, hopefully it's not trivia. What? Could be what, Hojo? Penalty wings.
I think you guys should play a mean round of pogs.
Round of pong. There, we do that too. But anyway, you got any final thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for inviting me over. I really enjoyed it. Wasn't expecting a win, but I'm happy that I got one. And also June 21st, Pro Wrestling Conquest, Friday night. In a lot of ways, we're still trying to get traction in the Charleston area. We're trying to spread awareness. We are putting on what we believe to be very quality shows. And as much support as we can get, the better. And we very much appreciate it, and we will try and give it back.
Sounds like you might be heading to that show, John.
I'll tell you what.
I hope I'm the referee that refs that match, too.
You ain't going to be no referee. You can be at Lowe's shopping for tables and ladders and all that crazy nonsense. You just get with Chance there and get it off Marketplace. Be cheaper, probably.
Buy in bulk.
Steve New, it's always great to have you on, brother.
All right. Always great to be here.
You got any final thoughts before we get out here, bro?
No, I just want to echo what was said here. Independent wrestling in West Virginia is fantastic. I want to get out and see a lot more. Glad to meet all of you guys. Put names with faces and faces with names, and it's just a great time to be a wrestling fan.
It really is.
It is a wonderful time to be a fan of the sport of professional wrestling right now. And I couldn't be happier to be right up in the middle of it.
I'm usually not one to make excuses, but I'm going to make an excuse. I told myself back when we restarted this show that I was going to make it a point to go to at least one show every month. Well, for the last 2 months, I've been tied up with baseball with my boys, and I haven't been to a show. There's a good chance old Royal Ramble Champions coming to WVCW June 1st. I'm just saying, I may be there. I don't know.
It sounds like in the month of June, couldn't we hit like 4 or 5 shows?
Probably.
June 1st, and when's yours, Derek?
21st.
June 8th, 21st, 8th.
I got the 8th, yeah.
And the 29th at ASW, Gary's promotion. I think we could hit 4 in the month of June if you get off your hind end. And
So what you're saying is you're going to drive, and then you got a spot in the ride for me?
Not my dog spot. Reznor. Brian's not even
that's for you,
taking
Brian.
the bait.
All right, Rez, you got some final thoughts before we go, bro?
I just want to say I like all of you. All of you, I like you. Hojo, Chance, I love you guys. So great to see you. So great to see you. And I love Steve too. And John, I really like you, man.
No love.
All right.
My final thoughts are final thoughts. Guys, thank you again so much for coming down. I know a lot of you guys come down from an hour-plus drive. You got to get with Reznor about the payday because he handles that department.
Right.
I don't.
What? Damn.
I like you too, Rez. All right, guys. Until next week.
They're Fort
You
Myers.
got to come 16 hours to Fort Myers to get it.
For all these guys, for Steve New, Derek Jones, wherever he's at, I'm John Covey Cole, and we will see you next week. Ramblers, ramble on.
Ramble on.